I'm absolutely shocked to learn that I'm in XRP's elite club. Then this shocking twist just makes me spit out my coffee. Right, joining XRP's rich list just got easier in tokens, but pricier in dollars. So let me walk you through what happened here and how this paradox actually played out, and why even seasoned holders like myself are both cheering and wincing just a little bit. Now, I've been in XRP's top 4% since 2020, so this rich list update is a little bit personal, right? Fewer XRP now is actually needed to get you in that top 10 spot, or at least top 10 percentage. Yet newcomers, they must actually pay more than ever before. So why did this happen? And what does it really mean for those of us actually holding or still on the sidelines? So picture this, right? You wake up to a notification that your favorite coin just hit a new high. There's no rush, or at least I should say that you go ahead and rush to check to make sure everything is kosher. And instead of celebrating, you discover you now need to spend thousands more, fiat that is, to actually reach the very same milestone. That's exactly what happened to me. Now, back in 2020, when I first bought XRP, I felt like a small fish in a rather vast ocean of crypto whales. I remember staring at my wallet balance late at night thinking someday this might actually mean something. Now, at the time, XRP was a steady player, mostly under the radar, quietly moving through banking corridors with Ripple's partnerships. Now, my friends, they laughed at me, right? You're investing in a payments token that no one uses. Good luck with that, they said. But I believed in the tech and the network, and I saw a future where cross-border payments wouldn't take days or cost a fortune. And now, as I kind of check the very same wallet balance, I kind of chuckle because I'm officially in a rare club. Only about 4% of XRPL wallets hold as many XRP as I do. It's a weird mix of pride, relief, and a little dash of kind of survivor's guilt. Now, let me give you the context on the price action. Now, XRP rocketed to around the $3.66 in late July's peak. Now, that's a new yearly high, up a whopping 32% in the past month alone. And if you had told me last year that XRP would cruise past $3, well, I would have stared at you like you were dreaming. Yep, here we are. Now, my portfolio is looking pretty healthy, but there is a hidden catch that hit me like a ton of bricks. Now, here's the first surprise. Last month, to be in the top 10% of all holders, you needed 2,486 XRP in your wallet. Then that number alone felt intimidating at, 7 or 8 cents per coin, back then. But you fast forward to today, and that very same threshold has dropped to 2,433 XRP. Now, on the surface, it seems like the gatekeeper lowered the bar, right? Fewer coins needed to join this elite club. But here is where your eyebrows should rise. Those 2,433 XRP are now worth about $7,300 compared to the $5,643 a month ago. Now, that's nearly a $2,000 more in cash terms just to hit the very same percentile. And so yes, it's easier in token count, but harder in dollar cost. Imagine enrolling in a course where the professor reduces the passing grade from 90 to 80, but triples the tuition fee overnight. That's the paradox that we've just experienced. Now, my friend, Arjun, waited until mid-July to buy more XRP, thinking that he'd scoop up in a bit of a dip. Instead, he needed to cough up an extra $800 just to match his friend Jenna's entry-level XRP bag. He texted me in all caps, "Why is this so expensive?" The poor guy. I had to kind of console him a little bit, bro. Welcome to crypto, I say. Now, the top 5% threshold tells a rather similar story. Previously, you needed 8,758 XRP to rank in the top 5%. Now, you need 8,517 XRP. That's a drop of about 241 XRP. Great, right? But The cost went from around $19,800 to $25,551. Now that's a jump of over $5,000. So even though the number of tokens has decreased slightly, the price surge means that the fiat required actually shot up. And then comes the draw dropper. The top 1% club. Now, once upon a time, you needed 50,637 XRP to make the cut. As of today, that number is 50,108 XRP, a decrease of 529 XRP. But you might nod and say, that's cool, almost 500 XRPs less. But in dollar terms, the entry ticket went from roughly $115,000 to $150,000. That's a $35,000 increase in just 1 month. Now, I literally almost spilled my coffee on my keyboard when I did the math. Imagine saving up for months, watching XRP pile grow, only to discover that the bar didn't just shift, it kind of skyrocketed in price. Now, that moment kind of felt like winning a very weird lottery and losing an even bigger one all at the same time. Now, across every tier, right, top 10%, top 5%, top 1%, this paradox holds true. Fewer XRP needed, yet more dollars required. It's like a luxury club that changes the membership rules from visit 100 times to visit 90 times while doubling the annual fee. So wherever, at least whether you're in the US, you're in India, Nigeria, or somewhere else in the world, being a part of the XRP top 10% club is rare. Only about 680,000 accounts out of roughly 6.8 million wallets actually meet that threshold. So that means that 90% of XRP holders are outside of the club, and the cost is getting more than ever. Now, speaking of acquiring XRP, I have to give a shout out to Kraken Pro, my go-to crypto exchange for all things XRP and more. Now, their platform has been rock solid, and the fees are pretty fair. Now, if you'd like to check them out, there's a Kraken Pro link in the description. But full transparency here, that is an affiliate link, and it helps support the channel here at no extra cost to yourself. So I wouldn't recommend anything that I don't personally use, and Kraken Pro has been my trusted gateway since day one. Now, over in our free educational Discord server, the reactions range from kind of this jubilation to panic, right? Some members are flexing their rich list status, posting screenshots of their wallet rankings. Others are frantically asking, how do I get in before the price goes even higher? And then there's the doom scrollers convinced that this means XRP is becoming a retail investor's nightmare. And me? I'm just sitting on a cocktail of emotions. I'm glad that I started early, anxious for anyone who hasn't started yet, and I'm curious about what comes next. Now, this one might just shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile, and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your responsibility, and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video today is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Now, let's go ahead and unpack what all of this means, right? Because analysts argue that this trend, it proves that if you keep delaying, you're going to pay more for less crypto. Now, my buddy 𝗗𝗀𝗰𝗀, a well-known market commentator, warned back in June that XRP was pricing out retail investors. Now, I didn't want to believe it after all, right? I started when XRP was less than $1, but these numbers make a rather compelling case. Procrastination in crypto can cost you after all. And on the flip side, many in the XRP community insist that we're still incredibly early in this particular game. Now, that sounds like a bit of a head scratcher, doesn't it? Are we, fashionably late or painfully early? And somehow we're sat here feeling both. Right? One bold projection from the community is that XRP could hit $30 someday. That was $30, right? So if that happens, those 2,433 XRP needed to, at least for the 10% club, would actually be worth nearly $73,000. That's roughly $7,000 stack ballooning to, $73,000. That's a transformational, or at least a transformational kind of number, right? It could buy a modest house in some regions in the world, or even fund a year's tuition at many different universities. It's kind of why we keep on holding, right? And we just keep on dreaming. But remember, nothing is guaranteed, right? We've seen hype cycles burst before, bubbles pop, exchanges hacked, and regulatory noise, you kind of name it. XRP's weathered a storm when the SEC lawsuit drama played out. That roller coaster taught me never to count my chickens before they've mooned. So if you had told me back then that XRP would still be thriving today, I'd have potentially been skeptical. Yet here we are, celebrating 5.5% gain in a single day, and investors are cheering both the FOMO and the caution. And so, are we early or late? And the truth is probably both, right? Early because if those $30 dreams materialize, today's price will look like a discount in hindsight. Late because each passing day raises that fiat bar to accumulate the rather same stash. It's kind of like a train pulling into the station. You might catch it now, but every minute you delay, you'll have fewer seats left and a higher ticket price. Now, for someone like me who jumped in back in like 2019, 2020, this update feels like validation, right? It's a pat on the back that says it was a good call. You're, ahead of 96% of other holders. But it's also a bit of a wake-up call, that the volatility and growth that we love in crypto comes at a bit of a cost. Now, if you're, just discovering XRP today, then you don't want to be beating yourself up, right? You missed some earlier gains, but the story, of course, isn't necessarily over. And if you're hesitant, remember, fortune favors the prepared mind. Do your own research, set your own limits, and only invest what you can afford to lose. Globally, of course, it's actually quite fascinating to see how XRP's narrative unites people across different continents, right? Whether you're in a kind of bustling city in Southeast Asia or a small town in Latin America, the thrill of watching a digital asset cross milestones creates a rather shared experience. I see people celebrating in Discords from time zones that I can't even pronounce, right? They send emojis, memes, and sometimes voice notes, all buzzing with excitement or worry, whatever they kind of feel in the moment. And of course, they're not alone. And I still kind of grin when I recall explaining to my aunt that I'm in the top 4% of all XRP holders. She thought I had won some kind of Willy Wonka style golden ticket or something. Now, I had to, of course, clarify that it just means that I've held a coin for years, not that I'm suddenly lavish in luxury. She replied, well, maybe buy me a nice dinner then. I laughed and said, sure, auntie, if XRP ever hits $30, dinner's on me. That, of course, made her day and reminded me how crypto conversations with non-crypto people can be absolutely hilariously awkward. Now, if you want to swap stories, commiserate, or even peek behind the curtain of my trading screen, then our Discord is open 24/7. It's free, it's global, and it's full of people who actually get why a stat change, of a few hundred XRP can cause a mini heart attack. The link for the Discord is in the description. So, here is my takeaway after this XRP rich list roller coaster. It's two big lessons, right? The first one is being early in crypto can feel like winning a lottery ticket that you didn't even know that you had. And two, even if you're late, there's always another twist waiting around the corner. Today's jaw-dropping price leaps, might look like steals tomorrow, or potentially even nightmares. The ride just never stops. Now, I'm walking away from this update kind of grateful that I held my XRP through thick and thin. It's been a wild ride filled with lawsuits, pump rumors, and meme-fueled surges. Moments like these, when I kind of learn how much more it kind of costs to join the club, kind of reminds me, at least why I'm clinging to my hodl strategy, tempered, with research and caution. Now, whether you're a whale with tens of thousands of XRP, a mini holder just, testing the waters, or simply crypto curious, well, you're all the parts of this kind of evolving story. Now, my goal isn't to tell you what to do. It's to share my personal journey, the data that shocked me, and the emotions behind the screen. I hope it kind of entertains you at least, or educates you, and maybe even saves you from the sudden kind of coffee spit kind of takes next time the rich list kind of shifts once again. But for now, thanks for sticking with me until the story end, and it's kind of surreal how a digital token can forge a community across the different time zones, bring excitement over a number on a dashboard, and yet here we are living it. So if you've enjoyed this little crypto adventure, hit the subscribe button, make sure to smash the like button, and I'll catch you all in the next one.